Morning. All right, let me do a couple of things. First of all, you can't see me. Hello. All right. Morning, Ben. I want to do this, and then do that. Works like a charm. Perfect. Okay. Well, hello. Actually, I need to see one thing real quick before I get started. I need to know, I don't remember what day I'm supposed to be doing. I do know I can use this file. I don't remember what date I was setting, so I'm going to pull up an old VOD. That is my current VOD. That is not what I want. This one. Is November 1st actually what it's supposed to be? 59 Fahrenheit out. Oh no, I'm so sad. Now that is obviously, if you're not accustomed to it, that can be a bit chilly. It is currently, if you were curious, 28 where I am. Yeah, we're going in a couple weeks, so hopefully it's a bit warmer. Then actually Jess was just looking at the weather and was like, "Huh, I thought it was going to be warmer." But yeah. Okay, let me find I know it's here somewhere. Okay. November 2nd, which means it's November 1st. Andy, hello. Thank you for popping by. Thank you for the good luck. Ooh, and then what was I setting for the time? I think it was 11:24. Okay, so I need to do 11:1. And then 11:24 p.m. Cool. 11:24, don't need to work anymore. Oh man, I wish. Actually, if it was 11:24 right now, I'd be kind of sad because I would have wasted my entire day. Fury, thank you for the good luck. All right. Yeah, I think that's decent. Okay. I need to turn down the volume for myself. Only now watching the Unite match. Oh, that's so funny. That was a good bit. I'm glad we ended up doing that. And specifically, like we still made it topical, which was funny. Like it wasn't like we just did it to shitpost. Like it was actually, yeah, you should not watch it because we all played like horribly, but it was funny. But yeah, it has been a bit for sure since I've done these runs. I think the last time I did these runs was the last time I streamed it, which was Christmas Eve. So it might take me an attempt or two to get back into it. In fact, do I remember? It's right, down, right, down, right, down, right, R left. Okay. All right, see how bad this is. All right, the only issue with that was I think I normally am not turboing A. I'm normally turboing one of the shoulder buttons. And so I muscle memoried into my non-turbo button. Because I feel like I do a different turbo button for like every game. It's kind of funny. Uh-oh, something thinks it's turboed right now. I don't know what. I'm confused. I did something to my controller. Whoops. D-rust. That's what I'll call it. Ooh, very nice. That does sound quite good. We are obviously very much an iced coffee enjoyer household. But do like a nice warm beverage from time to time. It used to be that I was, before I liked coffee, I was very much a tea drinker, like a hot tea. And I would always get that, like every morning, regardless of how hot it was. And I still do that, like at work. When I go into the office, I always stop at Dunkin' on the way in. And then my drinks throughout the day are usually tea of some kind. It just hits different. I don't know. Iced tea is the nectar of the gods. I definitely do like a good iced tea. I'm a big unsweetened iced tea person. That's like one of my go-to non-alcoholic drinks at restaurants. It's just like, do you have iced tea? Yep. Sign me up. All right, how far off of good am I? I think 57 is good. Only like 3 seconds. It's fine. Like 2 or 3 seconds. Hey, what's up, Jonan? Yeah, the 1.0 Diamond Run was really funny. Didn't finish for reasons, but I thought it was a fun time. I do want to get back into BDSP. I actually have something else I'm doing off stream right now that might eat into, like, the whole reason I'm not doing BDSP right now is because I don't know if I'm going to jump into BDSP immediately, but it is... I've got like 4 things at the top of my list right now. Yeah, exactly. The fact that synchronized just doesn't work was so funny. Yeah, I've got like 4 things that I've got my mind set on at the moment. I just need to figure out a priority order. Okay, something is very weird. Okay. Dang it, this one's actually runnable too. I'm on the wrong preset, I think. On my Switch controller. Whatever. I had 15 special at level 6. 14 speed. And 16. Honestly, with all that complaining I was just doing about messing up the buttons and stuff, the fact that I'm +0 is really funny. All right, the Sobble is calm, apparently. Which I did a hell of a lot of damage, turn 1, if that's a minus. The turbo stuff I was talking about in the BDSP run. Oh, about turbo not necessarily being, like, all that good. So basically okay, Sword and Shield is actually a great game to be playing while I'm saying this because it's the game that it is the closest to. But essentially, in Sword and Shield, the way that text moves is if you are holding down, so there are 4 buttons that can advance text. A, B, ZL, and ZR, okay? And if you're holding down one of those buttons, your text boxes will move twice as fast. You don't have to turbo it or anything. Just if it's being held down, the text scrolls on screen faster. Okay. And then what you can then do is mash a different button. So hold one of the buttons and mash a different one. And now your text is scrolling as fast as possible. And because you're mashing, you will clear the text boxes as early as possible. Obviously, with mashing, there's a little bit of variance, but the idea is there, right? So in this game, the fastest way to use turbo is hold down one button, not turboed, and hold down another button that is turboed, right? BDSP, the text boxes and everything works exactly the same, except when you hold a button for a text box, it starts moving faster. Whenever you release any of the buttons that could advance text, it starts moving slower again. So you essentially have to constantly reapply your held button as you go. And if you're turboing, you're constantly letting go of one of those buttons. So it ends up being, I don't want to say slower, because it would at least be consistent where, like, if you're manually doing it, like, there's room for error. But, like, it's not as fast as it could be if you are turboing. Now, because you're constantly not just letting go of a button, but you're constantly also reapplying a button, it probably is like a, you know, not that bad. But something felt a little bit different yesterday, or on Monday when I was playing, and turbo didn't seem as bad as I have experienced it in the past when it came to BDSP. So I don't know if that's just I'm misremembering, or if there actually was something different there. True Killer, thank you for the 100 bits. Question for you, is there a speedrun for this game finishing the regional decks? Yes, sort of. There is a category that exists for Catch 'em All. It is not competitive. There's only a couple of people who have done it. There is also a version with DLC that similarly only has a couple people running it. There's both a 2-player and a single-player version. The single-player version doesn't catch, like, the version exclusives and the like. What a cool video game. So it is, it does exist, but you're not going to find many runs, if any. We're not doing that. How long is the speed run? I know that the version without DLC is like 16 hours. I know that because I've done it. The one with DLC, I'm not actually positive how long it takes. But I could find it. One sec. Oh, Happy New Year's to you as well. Why is this on the main board? All right, yeah. So Catch 'em All, no DLC, 1 player is 16 hours and 24 minutes by Jordan97. Single player with DLC has not been done. 2 player with DLC is 22 hours and 47 minutes with Cruel and Clover. And then, yeah. So the 2 player basically forces you to trade between each other, and you both have to complete the decks. Single player is like, I would have caught everything if they were available in my game. But it'd be cool to revisit this at some point. But we'll see. I'm getting older. It's harder to do long runs. Timer starts when you select like you agree to your name and stuff. Once you agree to your name, that's when time starts. Oh my god, wait. We're good. My Joy-Cons were attached. I was losing all those precious seconds. Morning Code, thanks for the good luck. Yeah, the start and end time for any game should be listed on speedrun.com. But yeah, for the Switch games, it's always some sort of begin game. The only exception to that is Scarlet Violet starts when you are in your room getting up from the bed, so it cuts out the 3-minute like first cutscene. And then the 3DS games are all the same. They're basically after you pick your language. The DS games are on Game Boot, and I believe I don't want to speak for them. I believe that is just like the most obvious place to do it. And then like for RNG minute purposes, I think. And then every game from GBA onward, I think actually has an actual new game button. Hi, Mac. Thank you for the good luck. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely different opinions about how timing should work. I don't necessarily feel this way anymore, but the way I used to approach it was always like trying to think about it in terms of Game Freak. It'd be like, okay, let's say Game Freak made a like Pokemon sanctioned speedrun category, right? What would they consider the beginning of the game and the end of the game? And that's how I used to approach things. I don't I still have that in mind, I think, when I'm thinking about it, but I am a lot more lenient when it comes to like there are certain things that will be identical from game to game. There's no need to include it. Yeah, and that's the other thing is some of the games, this game in particular, have things that are set in stone after initial cutscene. Like when this file is created, certain things are set, and every time you load that save, they will be the same. So you could, for example, set up a save file with like a perfect set of raid dens, and never have to worry about that luck. But yeah, the candies in the Crown Tundra would be another thing. It would be nice to be guaranteed to get the XL, though, I will say. Man, I'm 30 minutes into stream. I've done one attempt. This really feels like Barrier Blitz. It's Unite time? Oh my god. We do have to get back to that. I'm free this weekend, but next weekend I actually cannot Unite. I'm tired. Today was a long day. But I'm glad to be semi-regular streaming again. Even if it's only going to be for a couple weeks because I'm taking a trip at the end of January. I'm going somewhere fun at the end of the month. My wife and I are going to Orlando. It'll be her birthday at the end of the month. So it'll be a fun time. That was 12 to 14. That's fine. Mid-March, end of April, start of May. Okay. I will certainly try to make one of them. Okay. Sounds good. All right, this is almost certainly an XL kind of run. Yeah, we opted to go before it opened and then potentially go back in a couple years after it's been open and like the hype dies down a little bit. But it definitely was factored into our choice. Oh yeah, plus attack easily. Whoops. Yeah, that makes sense. We are primarily doing universal stuff this time around, which is kind of what we did last time. But it's been over 5 years since last time, so things will be a bit different. And then we have a day for SeaWorld as well. No Disney here, but that's not that big a deal to me. Limey, hello, hello. Maybe. Fellow GDQ staff Limey. Hope you're doing well. I finally finished up all my laundry from the trip, and I was like, I gotta wear this today. Because I couldn't wear it yesterday. What's up, Sandy? That sounds fantastic. All right, this Sobble is certifiably okay. Hopefully we just get good experience here. This is almost certainly going to be a don't get Urshifu attempt rather than get Urshifu. The Sobble's just not good enough, I don't think. Oh no. Sloran, thank you for the good luck. Yeah, Hagrid's coaster was there, but we didn't go on it. It was, like, brand new. Fuck. I do not want this encounter. I will run from it. But I do want to try Velocicoaster. Brother, what do you mean? Six or bust. Absolutely not doing a 3. Yeah, I'm a bit... I don't know what the right word is. It's not hesitant or nervous or anything, but I'm definitely grew up as a big roller coaster fan. But with my vertigo, I don't take to them very well anymore. But I do still try to get on, especially like when I was a kid. I went to Universal. I was like 10. And I was obsessed with roller coasters, but because I was 10, I didn't really get to go on any of the big ones. And so when we went back in 2019, it was like I could finally go on like the Incredible Hulk, you know? Like I idolized this coaster since I was 10. And 18 years later, I finally got to ride it, which was super cool. So like, especially with some of these big coasters that like, I know Velocicoaster is like a really big one and one that a lot of people praise very highly. It's like, I gotta at least try it. Even if I have to like sit for an hour afterward, I gotta at least try it. No, it's not that small. But I'm like glad I was able to get on a lot of like iconic coasters. Not a lot. That's the one thing is like I didn't ever really travel to go on stuff. But I did get to go on a few ones before my Vertigo started. Yeah, like I've been on King Dakar, right? Like that's a big one to me. Before they like completely changed it, I got to ride Superman Ride of Steel at Six Flags New England, which was always either the first or second best coaster in the world at the time. So, what is Vertigo? Vertigo is essentially this is like a super oversimplification, okay? It's basically, yeah, it is something with your inner ear that either triggers imbalance or is very easy to like get dizzy essentially when your head is not in an upright position. Like, for example, if I lay down, I need to do options, 1 sec. Like, if I were to just go lay down right now, I would probably get dizzy in about 10 minutes. And that's not even, like, jerking motions. That is just, I am no longer upright. So, it's something I've gotten looked at, something I am working on. It's just, it does take time. Also, hello, Raph. Hope you're doing well. And Moosey, I know, it is rough. But it's one of those things like I've had long enough that like I know how to work around it and stuff. Also, hello, Sheep. I did see you as well, but I didn't say hi. I've never done skydiving, no. But like the vertigo is something I definitely know how to work around. I just need to sort of be aware of it. Like, for example, if I wanted to do something like let's say I want to take everything off of my desk, which involves unplugging everything to like clean it and whatever, I know that I need to set aside like multiple hours because it will take me 30 minutes to take everything apart, clean, and put it back together, and it will take me another few hours to recuperate. Like, that's just one of those things I just know I need to do. So yeah. Yeah, for Speedrun Survival, when I brought my PC, it was a task. Packing is a task. Folding my laundry is another thing I got to deal with. Hello, Baron. And hello, Kirby. There it is. Great emotes. It will. It will. But all right, hopefully I can get on a run today. I plan on going until like 7:30, something like that. Where it's almost 5 now, so I've got time. But it'd be really cool to finish a run. I haven't finished a run since the beginning of day 2 of Barrier Blitz. I've been grinding non-stop with absolutely no interruptions. To be fair, I did play Pokemon and watched a lot of Pokemon while I was at GDQ. They did an any% with DLC race. I watched part of it. That's basically like grinding this category, right? No. Nintendo Sarah with the 18 months. Thank you very much, Sarah. Morning, morning. Sarah, I will say I have noticed the uptick in... Oh, I have the stupid... There's a save file. I have noticed the uptick in races lately. That's all I will say. I have noticed. True, Spider. What am I doing here? There we go. I don't know why that happens sometimes. Sometimes I go into the game and my controller is just like, nah, not today. Yeah, Season 4 should be fun. I think I am... definitely excited. It's doing it again. No, it's not. I'm just dumb. We're good. I don't know how much I'm gonna end up involved in like the discussion surrounding season 4, but assuming they do a similar like perspective presets and stuff, like I'll definitely plan to do them and share my thoughts. But yeah, I probably, we'll see. Whatever happens, though, I am excited. Candidates with races. Yeah. I couldn't think of the right word. Perspective wasn't the right word, but it was candidate. Preset. Yeah, I'm all good on climbing shuffled. Well, okay, no. Let me rephrase that. I'm okay with climbing shuffled if we have a good like diagram of the logic implications. One of my biggest issues with the Kevin was like there just wasn't like a good place unless I was gonna go into the code. There wasn't like a good place to see what is climbing locked and stuff. And so like there was that one race, it may have been the qualifier, where it was like I didn't know that you could get to like upper castle. Like I thought you needed climbing to get to the warp pads, but if you just went all the way around you could get there. So like little things like that. But I don't know, it'll still be fun. I definitely enjoy commentating. I wish I was more free for commentary. Like lately they've been restreaming the weeklies again and I just haven't been available, but cat. It's doing the fucking thing. All right, I need to use a different preset. With the 8-bit do, can I do this? Or does it not let you? It does. Let's go. Me too. There are some things I don't love about it, but like the fact that sometimes it just disconnects itself. It usually only happens on the way into a game, though. So if I'm already loaded in a game, I've never had an issue. It's just, I'll boot up a game, and all of a sudden my controller just won't work. And I'm like, oh, well. I am using the ultimate 8-bit do ultimate Bluetooth I think that's all the things on it. You do have to remap the back paddles using their software. But it works pretty well, like I said. The big thing I like about, or one of the reasons I really like the back paddles, so for Scarlet and Violet, which is essentially what this preset I have is, one of my back paddles is the stick click, because stick click is how you sprint, and it's really tough like to mash that when you're trying to start moving. So I just have it set there so I can like hold forward and just mash on the back. And then the other one is set to the B button because I like to have my B button turboed for text mashing. But you also need your B button to not be turboed in order to jump really high. Because like jumping high on the mount is like a hold B situation. So I can basically do that. I could effectively do that if I just turned the turbo and B off and on, but it's less error prone if I do it this way. But everything else about the controller feels really good. I did break one of my back pedals. So this is actually my second one of these. Yeah, so the thing, and if I ever run PLA, I think I'm gonna use my Xbox Elite too, because I did get this adapter that basically allows you to use pretty much any controller as a turbo controller on the Switch, which is really cool. The only problem I had with it is I couldn't do the like multiple button thing. You know, I couldn't have it set so like it would turbo B, it wouldn't let me turbo the B button but not the paddle, if that makes sense. Like if I set my paddle to B, it would consider both of them turboed, which isn't what I wanted. Actually, you know what? For this, I could probably use the Xbox controller. I'm going to consider that. I do have to find that adapter again, and, like, it's one of those things where the instruction manual is not the most helpful, but I'll figure it out. Yeah, I use mine with this guy. I don't want to rip it out of my Switch. With the like dock thing, this is my receiver. It does have, I'm assuming you're talking about this thing, Code. I probably shouldn't unplug it actually. There's like a little USB stick. Yeah, USB dongle. Oh, okay. All right, that feels better. I'm going to just do that a little bit on the slower side like that. So that way I just don't mess it up. Because it's like punishing in this category to mess that up because your time matters. So you have to go all the way out, all the way back in. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, I really like the Xbox Elite controller. I'm afraid to use it for, like, a mashing game. Which is kind of funny. Depends on the game. But a fair amount, I would say. Like, a lot of it nowadays is turbo on the Switch. But there are still moments where mashing makes sense. And obviously, if I do any game that doesn't have a turbo board. Bullrock, thank you for the good luck. Appreciate it. Oh, is there anybody still in the chat that either did the race of or is interested in the Let's Go 50 random catch thing? Hi. Okay, I was literally thinking about Spider and Furious up front, but I didn't want to call them out in case they weren't here anymore. Okay, so I'm basically going to after work try to work on like a quick little website to generate these things. Random seed, or you can input a seed is what I'm thinking. Limit / something for Wooloo encounters. Oh my god. 1% encounters. Limit or slider or something for including the rare encounters. Ability to download an Eevee version or a Pika version. What else really is needed? I couldn't think of anything past those things. At least for a first pass, right? That should cover everything. Race time integration, I'm not sure about. I was thinking, so I know it's possible to have race time generate a seed for you. Ooh, 12 to 14 to 16. That is quite nice. Yeah, sheep. We aren't exactly sure yet. Some people wanted to do a full run with the 50. Some people opted to just stop when they got the 50. It would influence how you play, so... for example, let's say you've got Lapras on the card. Are you going to go through Sylph to get Lapras, or are you going to chain for it? Well, if you're going to just stop at 50, that's an actual question. If you're going to beat the game, you may as well just do Sylph to get the Lapras and stuff like that. No, it is only the 127. So it is the 127 available before Koga. So it does not include eggs. It does not include... If you get one Hitmon, you can't get both. If you get one Fossil, you can't get both. And it would not include Licky Licky, or Lickitung, Mewtwo, or Moltres. And then where the logic gets interesting is, for the most part, the logic is pretty straightforward. It's pick random Pokemon. If you can get it, let's say the random Pokemon I got was Venom. No, not Venomoth. Parasect, right? If the random Pokemon is Parasect, then obviously I need to have a Paras as well, because Parasect is not available in the wild. However... and then, okay, so there's that. And then there's obviously, if the rando rolls a Bellsprout, I'd have the rando only roll for one version of the game and then convert it to the other version if it's desired, right? So I would run it as if it's an Eevee version and then convert it over. So if it rolls Bellsprout, it actually means Oddish, right? That's pretty straightforward. The weirdness comes in, so every version exclusive has a sister Pokemon, right? So you've got Bellsprout and Oddish. You've got Muck you got Grimer and Coughing. They come in pairs. However, two of the pairs are treated slightly incorrectly. Two of the pairs are treated slightly incorrectly. Vulpix and Growlithe are opposites, and Meowth and Mankey are opposites, but Arcanine is available in one game and Persian is available in the other, based on the whole catch 5 of the Pokemon thing. So that becomes an issue of like, do I make Growlithe and Meowth sister Pokemon and make Vulpix and Mankey sister? But then that gets weird for other reasons. So like, I haven't exactly decided how to do that yet. You could get more than 50 Pokemon, just don't catch Paris. The current iteration of the rules is the 50 Pokemon you get are the only 50 you are allowed to catch. You do not have the... It is against the rules to catch something that isn't part of the 50. So we could modify those rules, but that is the idea. Yeah. Yeah, like, it would technically be possible to only have Bellsprout available. Pre-Misty. And you are allowed to catch as many of that Pokemon as you'd like, but you can only catch that Pokemon. That's one of the things, like, another bit of logic that I'm going to have to throw in, which I already know how I'm going to do it. I just need to, obviously code it, like, implement everything, is if you... There needs to be a chainable Pokemon available in order for a rare spawn to be required. So, for example, I'm not going to require you to get only Bulbasaur before Brock. Like, if you're rolling Bulbasaur, you have to also have something chainable before Brock. But yeah, I think those are the only true, like, important logic things that aren't this Pokemon is only available by evolving into it that I have to worry about. It's Grass type before Brock is required. A chainable Pokemon is required before a rare spawn. And figuring out the version exclusives. And then, like, obviously, like, if I'm rolling for Eevee and Arcanine gets rolled, then that means Meowth has to be picked as well. I am trying to decide, like, code-wise, how I want to handle the Bellsprout versus Bulbasaur thing. Because the obvious way to do it is have the very first Pokemon that you roll be either Bellsprout or Bulbasaur. 50-50 chance for one or the other, and then adjust things based on that. The only issue I have with that is, like, that feels really heavily biased toward Bulbasaur. Like, I feel like Bulbasaur shouldn't be 50% of the time, but I don't have a good percentage for it. You know? Reverse it and have either Bulbasaur or Bellsprout be the last Pokemon. Yeah, once you get to the end. Okay. No, I don't hate that. I could roll 48 Pokemon. If Bulbasaur or Bellsprout is picked, then I don't have to worry about it and just finish out the 50. If neither have been picked, pick one of them at random. In that case, it would be a 50-50. So pick one at random. And then if it's Bulbasaur, I need to ensure that there is a chainable Pokemon, which I would also randomize after the fact. I like that. That's fair. Yeah, like, so the way I coded it for GDQ, I think I'm gonna code it the other way this time. I don't really have a pros or cons list for either approach yet. I do plan to think about it, but the way I had it coded for GDQ was it would pick a random Pokemon, and instead of every Pokemon having a requirement, it was every Pokemon would bring another Pokemon. So, or not every Pokemon, but like a Pokemon like, what's a good example? I just had it, Parasect. If it rolled Parasect, it would ensure Paris also gets added. So either Paris is already there, or it will also it'll add 2 Pokemon on that random try. I was considering when I do this for real, doing it the other way. So like it rolls a Pokemon, that Pokemon's requirements have not been met. So I skip it and move to the next one. And then we stop when we hit 50. I don't know which way I prefer yet. What I want to do is I can essentially code both pretty... Like, once I have coded one, I can code them both. And then I would just make, like, 1,000 of them and see what trends exist. The reason why I like the requirement version of saying, like, this Pokemon got rolled, are its requirements met? It skips Pokemon, but you end up filling it anyways, right? You're good, Raph. I'm going to go back and read it in a second, just so I can get my thought out, though. The reason I like the requirements version is it fixes the Bulbasaur problem. The Bulbasaur problem is I need a chainable Pokemon in order to use Bulbasaur. And so Bulbasaur can't bring along a Pokemon, if that makes sense. Like with Parasect, it knows the only Pokemon that fits this requirement is Paris, so I can add it at the same time. But if I'm adding Bulbasaur, I could add Pidgey, Rattata, Spearow, Nidoran, Caterpie, Metapod, Kakuna, Beedrill, I think, technically. Like, it could bring along any of those Pokemon. So it's a lot easier to say, have my requirements been met, as opposed to, I need to also bring this thing with me. See, it does, but I don't know if that's the case. That's why I want to code it up and generate a bunch of them and see. On paper, it sounds like it should, but I'm wondering if the math works out that by the end, you are more likely to pick these second and third stages anyways, because all the first stages have been taken, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if that's the case or not. I think it probably is the case. It's just I don't know for sure. Okay, I understand what you're saying, Raph. It's not exactly like that. There's only a few Pokemon that outright prevent another from showing up. So I don't think that would be an issue. Also, what's up, Benji? It depends on how my Sobble is and what my time is when I get to the Crown Tundra. It also depends on how quickly I actually get on this run. I'm thinking of potentially ending a little bit earlier than I was planning. But I'd like to at least have a run through, like, into Crown Tundra. If I don't get a single run to Crown Tundra, I'll be very sad. Nice. Also, Sheep. Just thinking about it a little bit, and again, I have zero math to back this up. I think the amount of first stages would likely stay the same. The amount of third stages would go down, but the amount of second stages would go up. That's not usable. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's what might happen. Because what would end up happening, I think... Let me get through this. What I think might happen is, like... Because right now, in order for a third... So if you do it the reverse way, where picking Venusaur implies Ivysaur and Bulbasaur come along, right? Then the only way to get Venusaur is to roll Venusaur. Yeah, I guess that's a good point, Spider. But like, yeah, so in order to get Venusaur, you have to roll Venusaur with 2 spots remaining, right? Whereas, in order to get... And then, so if you reverse it, you say, in order to get Bulbasaur, how do I get Bulbasaur? I get Bulbasaur if Bulbasaur is picked, Ivysaur, or Venusaur is picked, right? So there's 3 of the 150 random rolls will give me Bulbasaur. Oh, there's probably math you can actually do to figure this out. I'm just gonna code it and run a simulation. Yeah, no kidding. Because, like, it's one of those things, like, I have this hunch there's something unintuitive about it that makes it either the same or not as drastic as we thought, you know? Like, it just, there's this hunch in the back of my head that's like, there is something unintuitive here that is happening. Yeah, that is true, Raph. Yeah. It does. So the only way Venusaur or Bulbasaur does not... So Bulbasaur implies chaining if you don't have Bellsprout on your card. I think you could always end up with Venusaur, even if you didn't chain. But yeah, it's because you have to get it before a certain point. I think for simplicity's sake, especially early on, like the other thing I need to remember is I'm not trying to perfect this shit first try, right? Like I want to make something usable that people can play, and have it available soon-ish. You should have 127, because 127 is what is available pre-Lieutenant Surge in the Oaks Challenge run. Oh, Wilds. Got you. Maybe? That seems a little high, but... I mean, I know Let's Go has a lot of Pokemon. Let me pull up Bob Chow. Yeah, so that's how we did it at GDQ, Raph. That's how it was done at GDQ. What I did was the very first thing the program does is create a list of Eevee and Bellsprout and then rolls the randoms after that. All right, this makes it a whole lot easier, thank you. What are the... I'm assuming orange is a wild. Yeah, okay. That checks out, that checks out, that checks out. Yep. Doug Trio is available in the wild. It sucks, but it's there. So yeah, Doug Trio is one. Victory Bell is there. Is Kingler available in the wild? On 12? I actually don't know. Seadra is. Seeking is. There's so many Pokemon available in the wild in this game. Holy shit. Yeah, Victory Bell is below Pallet. You can only get one fossil. So I would unmark one of the fossils. Just for count purposes. Obviously, it is obtainable. Oh, you don't have Pinsir marked. Yeah, Raph. So the other idea... So, okay, that actually... Raph, your comment just triggered a... like, Jimmy Neutron Brain Blast for me on another setting we need to have. We should have a... In addition to 1% likelihood or whatever, it should also... ask if you want to be able to chain 1%. Because it would literally only apply to in the forest chaining Beedrill or Butterfree to get a Bulbasaur. Like, if your pre-Brock catching is only Beedrill and Bulbasaur, that would suck. But you wouldn't want to ban 1% in general because, like, I like my 1%. I want to have a couple of them. Yeah, those are the ones I saw. Kingler, I'm not sure if it's available in the wild. I actually just don't remember. But it would be on Route 12 if it was. It is? Okay. I have done well over a third to this Wooloo every single time I've done this fight today. I've also not seen a Wooloo on Route 1. Or Route 2, I guess. 1 or 2? I don't remember. It's 1. Nope. Oh, man. Now, with all this talking, I want to just work on my stupid thing. Coding stream? I am very hesitant to do any sort of coding on stream. The amount of backseating, I swear. All right, so wild. I can imagine there being more. I actually don't know for sure. I am clicking my own independent list sheep, and we'll see if they match. Oh, Gyarados is available in the wild. Wait. Is Gyarados only on 20? Because I'm not writing Java. It's on 20? Okay. So including gifts. So this is going to include gifts in my wild count. I have 100 listed. What am I missing? All right, this is where the picture could come into play. That would be a better way to solve the issue, Raph. I like that. Okay, one of them is you can only get Butterfree or Beedrill, depending on your version. Not both. Beach, thank you for the good luck. What else is a difference here? Oh, you have Grimer Muck, which is exclusive to Pika. That's 2. We still have something different between us, though. And I don't see it offhand. Okay. Either way, it's about 100. Let's say that. There's about 100 things you can get in the wild, which means there are 27, roughly. 25, let's say. 25 that require another Pokemon. At least one other Pokemon. The only ones that actually require 2 other Pokemon are the Venusaur, Charizard, Blastoise. So this actually may not be that big of an issue. There's nothing that is a true third stage other than, other than the 3 starters. So I guess it becomes which bias is better, right? Because if you roll a Pokemon and bring along its prerequisite, you are giving the prerequisite a better chance of showing up on the tracker. But if you only include a Pokemon if its prerequisites are already met, then you are biased against the non-wild Pokemon. So I'm not exactly sure what the best way to do it is. The actual nature of the challenge we're talking about, so in Pokemon Let's Go, in order to beat the game, you need to have 50 Pokemon. And for any given run, there's only about 65 or so Pokemon that are like reasonable to get. Of the over 120 that are technically possible. So the idea is we create a randomizer that doesn't actually randomize the game, but spits out a list of 50 Pokemon that you have to catch on this run. And so the idea would be people do it as a race, and it would be a good time. We actually did a version of this at GDQ. I personally didn't participate, but I generated the random list of Pokemon. And people thought it was really fun. So we're trying to come up with basically better rules and better algorithm for actually generating the random list. And so the particular dilemma I am talking about now is, or that we are talking about, I should say, is that certain Pokemon will have a prerequisite, right? Like, I cannot get a Parasect in the game unless I have also gotten Paras. Parasect is just not available anywhere. And so when I'm generating the list of Pokemon, I can do it in one of 2 ways. I can either pick a Pokemon and add its prerequisites, if there are any, or I can pick a Pokemon and just not include it unless its prerequisites are met. And they both seem to have a bias for what it would include. Like, if I'm bringing along the prerequisites, then a Pokemon like Paras is just more likely to appear. Because of the 120 Pokemon, 2 of them bring Paras, where only 1 would bring Zubat, for example. But on the flip side, if I do it the other way, then a Pokemon like Parasect is now biased against it. There's now a bias against a Pokemon like Parasect, because the only way I can get Parasect is if it happens to be rolled after Paras is already added. Bias in both directions. I mean, I'm still open to thinking about ideas. Like, another idea I just had. Dude, stop with these shit sobbles. Oh my god. The game wants me to stop playing it so I can start working on this thing. What's up, Dynam? Code it in a way that if Parasect is chosen, then Paris is 100% showing. Interesting. So, like, weight the Pokemon. Right now, there's nothing weighted at all. It's 100% random. Well, random as computers are. I don't know. Because to me, the Nidoran is completely exclusive from the Nidoking. Like, I'd almost want it in reverse. I would almost want it to be pick. No, because there are ways that you can get all 4 Moonstones. So you don't have to worry about limiting that. Yeah, I'm just using Parasect as an example because it's just the easiest one in my mind. But I'm almost wondering if... Thank you for the good luck, Zetters. I'm almost wondering if it would make more sense to do it in the other order. So, when... So, okay, what about this? What about when you pick a Pokemon, if its prerequisites are not met, it gets dropped. But once its prerequisite is met, it becomes more likely. So, first roll, Parasect. Parasect, I cannot use it because I don't have Paris. 3 rolls later, Paris gets picked. Okay, now Parasect is now twice as likely to show up. Or something like that. Does that make sense? But you would only include that weighting if it was already picked. Or hell, you could even not... You could even... Ooh. You could just do that in general. Once Paris is picked, Parasect just becomes more likely. That could be a good way to do it, Jonan. I don't hate that idea. Parasect gets picked. It gets put in a holding bucket until Paris is picked, and then it gets added. So it doesn't bring it along, necessarily. But it allows Parasect to be picked on either side of Paris. Yeah, okay. I think that's the way to do it. The problem is picking that random number, Sandy. That's the problem. Like, I don't know what the correct weighting is. Like that, if I picked a number, it would be purely vibes based. Which to start isn't that bad, but yeah, I think I like the idea of pick a Pokemon. If its requirements are met, include it. If its requirements are not met, then put it in a holding bucket until it is met. And then the only way the Parasect gets fucked over is if Paris is picked as Pokemon 50. Yeah, I mean, that's effectively the same thing, but yeah, you could also do that. I guess I'm more thinking about how it would be implemented as opposed to, like, the end result. No, you wouldn't want to exclude it from being 50th. It would just be tough luck Parasect. Like, realistically, a bias against Pokemon that you cannot find in the wild is not a bad thing. Like, you're always going to be evolving stuff, but having a Pokemon that you can only get via evolving... it's not necessarily bad. I think the big thing I'm thinking of is if I were to generate like 1 billion of just purely random, right? Generate 1 billion purely random 50 Pokemon, then eliminate the ones that are invalid because they break a requirement rule. What are the odds that each Pokemon is picked? And I think if I do that, every Pokemon is not going to be even. A Pokemon like Paris will be more likely than a Pokemon like Parasect. How are the runs today? Terrible. I haven't gotten past Route 1 yet. Exactly. What runs? It's fine. We've been having a lot of fun talking about Let's Go. So I'm not too bummed about it. I'm getting a lot of ideas right now, so I am probably going to give myself like 2 more Sobbles and then go from there. You need, like, it doesn't have to be a great starter, but you need a pretty good starter, and then you also need good catches on Route 1. And my Route 1s have been absolutely bad. Ideally, you were looking for a Wooloo. You essentially need to catch or defeat up to 2 Pokemon. Or I should say 2 or more Pokemon. In order to hit level 12 at an opportune time. Or technically a level 11. And Wooloo is the best Pokemon to do that. And I've been to Route 1 4 times, I believe. And I have not seen a Wooloo yet. And there are 8 spawns on Route 1. And Wooloo is 15%, something like that. So. But like I said, we've been having fun talking about the Let's Go Catch Randomizer thingy. And I've got a lot of ideas that I'll probably jot down all my ideas tonight and then start working on tomorrow. And then ideally I have something usable by... I don't know what my plans are this weekend. I would say by the end of the weekend, but I don't know if I have any plans this weekend, so I don't want to commit to anything. Yeah, of course. I think we've been talking about it. Raph, are you in the category Cat X Expo Discord? That's where we've been talking about it for the most part. Okay, we can get you added. But it's could be a fun race category. But yeah, the cool thing about it is, like, especially if you end once you have the 50 catches, we should delete the tournament Discord. Anyways, we I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah. If as long as you end it once you've caught your 50, there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do. Like, it was funny, one of the big decisions to make in the one that we did at GDQ was doing Sylph or not, which is a no-brainer. If you have to beat the game, it's a no-brainer. Just you have to do Sylph. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You just have to do Sylph. Because both Lapras and Porygon were on the card. But I believe Dynam is the one who won, and Dynam did not do the 50. Yeah, my thought was to get into Koga's gym. But the only issue with that is it's not exactly clear when you would stop the timer. So we did it using AOP rules, which is like just flash your decks or the save menu. Exactly. Which I think my intuition is telling me that it's better to do Sylph if you need both of them, but if you're only going to get one of them, then oh, you know what's going to be awkward? Okay, I like this holding bucket idea for another reason. Okay, so how many 1% are there in the game? Like, all together, not just the ones we do in AOP. There's got to be like 7 or 8, right? Because there's Kadabra. So there's the Bug in the Forest, Kadabra, Ninetales. The 3 we get in AOP. I'll count Dratini, Dragonair. That's at least 8, and I'm not even close to done. So let's say 15. I think there's probably like 15 1% in the game. If you allow like 2 1%, right? While I'm randomizing, I'm going to have to go in and be like, okay, this Pokemon is a 1%. So that takes up one of my 1% slots. Yeah, special spawns would be a different slider. Or option. I don't want to say slider. I don't know what it would actually be. But yeah, so you'd say, okay, I've rolled Dragonair. Dragonair takes up a 1% slot. Dragonair is a bad example. I would say Kadabra. Kadabra takes up a 1% slot. Then I roll Ninetales, and it's like, okay, Ninetales rolls a 1% slot. So now I only have allotted myself 2 1% slots, and now both of them are full. So then I roll Kangaskhan. Can't add Kangaskhan. Okay, that's fine. Then I roll Abra. So now I have Abra, which removes Kadabra as a 1%. So I would have to basically create another holding bucket of 1% to say, once a 1% slot becomes available, slot in my Kangaskhan. Yeah, Raph, this would be... We like the idea of having it as a setting. That way we can do something faster for races, but still allow bullshit shit stuff to happen. The buckets just keep on winning, yeah. We have... I keep saying holding bucket. We have a project going at work where there's a holding bucket of something, and it's just the easiest thing to say. Start talking about Catch Rando at work. Listen. Yeah. There would be an option for 0 restriction. How do I handle evolutions? Okay, so I've thought about this. I don't know. I have the idea written down. I don't know if I'm going to verbalize it correctly, so bear with me. So the idea would be that... So every Pokemon has a sister Pokemon in the other game, right? So that way you can use the same seed to generate a similar, obviously it's not identical, but a similar catch route for Pikachu, even though if you did it on Eevee, right? So Raichu and Jolteon, so the idea would be, we generate it on Eevee, let's say. If Vaporeon is picked. Actually, I'll do it the other way. I'll say we'll generate on Pikachu. It'll make more sense if I do it this way. So you generate on Pikachu. If Raichu gets picked, cool. You just have to catch a Forest Pikachu. If I switch to the other game, then that corresponds to Jolteon. Pretty easy. And I can just say you have to catch another Eevee in order to get Jolteon. If, let's say, Vaporeon then gets picked, that would force me to get Eevee. So now I need both Eevee and Pikachu in both games. And it would be Raichu in one game. The Vaporeon would turn into Raichu. I know that's weird, but bear with me. So the Vaporeon... This is also unrunnable. Oh my god. The Raichu would turn into Vaporeon. No, Vaporeon would turn into Raichu when you switch over to Eevee version. Okay? The second evolution you get, so that would only be the first evolution, would turn into the Raichu. The second evolution would remain itself. There would be a slight imbalance, and I need to like run through all the scenarios in my head about available stones. So like Vaporeon, in a vacuum, Vaporeon is just is better than Raichu because a Water Stone is easier to get than a Thunderstone, right? But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. So Isle of Armor, any percent... Yeah, that's what this category is. We have 2 categories. It is get and don't get Urshifu that end at the appropriate times. And I'm kind of flexing which one I'm doing based on how things go. But I think this will be my last Sobble. I cannot believe it's been 2 hours and I have not gotten past Route 1. So I'd rather use this time to be productive and make a silly little game for me and my friends. All right, sounds good, sheep. I'll update my Discord with what's going on as well, so it's not all the discussion there. Yeah, just to summarize, the idea would be the first evolution can get transferred to Raichu. The second evolution stays an evolution. Okay, so the idea behind it, Wrath, is let's say you're on Pikachu. Let's say you generate on Pikachu, okay? And you have gotten Raichu, right? You've generated on Pikachu version, and Raichu has been randomized in. Nothing with the Eevee line at all, okay? If all I do... No, Pikachu and Eevee are not exclusive. The problem is you can't evolve your starter. So, because I generated on Pikachu version, when I translate it to the Eevee version, that Pikachu is going to get converted into an Eevee, correct? And so, now I've got an Eevee picked and a Raichu picked without the Pikachu. So I would have to include Pikachu in order for that to work. But if I include Pikachu in order for that to work, there are now 51 catches, not 50. So I have to also translate the evolution. I basically need a masked catch to be included in order to get it, if that makes sense. Also, good evening, Mini Ava. Thank you for the good luck. Hopefully we actually get on a run. This is my last attempt of the night. Or last Sobble, I should say. If I mess up, like, options menu right now, I will still play, but... But we have had some not so good luck today. But yeah, and then, anyways, to sort of complete the thought, on the flip side, if you're generating for Pika and you roll a Vaporeon, which brings along the Eevee, right? Then when I convert it to the other game, the Eevee is going to turn into a Pikachu, and then the Vaporeon needs to turn into a Raichu. Because if you don't convert the Vaporeon, then you end up with Pikachu picked, Eevee picked, and Vaporeon picked, which forces the Eevee player to catch an extra Pokemon. It wouldn't be the extra count, like it would still be 50, but it's because they would have to, in addition to catching a Pikachu in the forest, they would also have to catch an Eevee on 17 and evolve that Eevee, where the Pikachu side wouldn't have to catch a Pikachu in the forest. They would only have to catch an Eevee on 17. The solution is not to force everyone to play the same version of the game. That's still too strong for the Eevee side. What was your solution? Sorry, I don't remember. Oh, make the starter never count for the 50 catches. You could do that. I don't know. You could do that. I don't know if I like it though. Yeah. I mean, I think my solution works. And it only matters if you care about how it's converted from one game to the other. Like, the amount of catches, the amount of evolutions you do will be the same between the two versions. It's just the implementation details that are confusing. I can't think of a way that my solution does not work. And it may just be I haven't thought of it yet. Like, I'm not saying it's perfect, but... Well, if you roll all 3 evolutions, what would happen is when it gets converted to the other game, one of those evolutions becomes a Raichu. So you still have to catch your 3 Eevees. Or you instead of catching 3 Eevees to evolve into 3 evolutions, you catch a Pikachu to evolve to Raichu and 2 Eevees to evolve into 2 evolutions. It's only the first evolution gets converted into Raichu. And then if you happen to roll a Raichu and 2 evolutions, you don't have to do any converting. The stones are not similar time requirements, so that is something I was thinking about. I don't think it's a big deal because everyone goes through Celadon. So you're always going to have the department store at your disposal. And if you're catching 50 Pokemon that are random, things like Route 10 to pick up the Thunderstone is likely on the route. Like, it's not... Well, okay, so... I think this would force me to... Alright, I have a solution. It's not a great solution. What if your first evolution was always Jolteon? Because Jolteon is the worst of them and is a direct comparison to Raichu. So if you get any evolution, it's Jolteon. And then the second one and the third one just never get converted anyways, so it doesn't matter. I think that's an idea. Nice crit. All right, let's see. Are we playing the video game today? Nope. Oh, this game is so dumb. All right, whatever. Game is bad. Should have done BDSP. The whole reason I didn't do BDSP is because I'm like, I should only de-rust / learn one game at a time, and I have something else that is catching my eye at the moment. But I don't know, maybe I'll go back to it. Who knows? Anyways, Well, I'm gonna head out for the night. So thanks people for watching. Sorry we didn't get anywhere. Hope the conversation was at least somewhat entertaining to listening to. And entertaining to listening to? Entertaining to listen to. Kitakami AOP on Saturday. Oof. Maybe. I do want to do it before the months are done. And I am gone for a week. At one point. Maybe. 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 Anyways. But yeah, I should be back on Friday. Playing some poke. And at least I think I'll do some poke. I don't know. Maybe I'll donk. Who knows? I do not have Monday off. No. That is one of the holidays we lost. But yeah, so I'm going to get going. Thanks everyone for watching. I should be back on Friday. And I will see you all later. So, bye. Have a good one.